This week, good game, bad game, side quests, favorite video game cover art. What game would you want remade? First person versus third person. What games would do better if their perspectives were switched? And the death of our beloved E3. Also, ahead of the episode, I'd like to apologize for my audio quality. Turns out, my microphone was turned around the entire time. Stuff happens. Technical difficulties occur, so it's all good. But without further ado, press that power button. It's time to PixelHate.
Welcome back to PixelHate, you slimy bastards. We're back. What? They're slimy.
Is that kosher? Can we say that in the first 10 seconds, Adam?
What's wrong with slimy?
Yeah.
Wrong with bastards.
Bastards is what I was referring
Slimy's
to.
not a curse word.
But also, Chris, the nerve of you. Because you curse in the first 30 seconds of every show.
I haven't yet.
Yeah, because Adam has done all the talking.
And he's also rebranded
I'm
himself.
talking right now.
Oh, he rebranded himself as a wholesome man.
He found Jesus.
Well, would they be slimy or would they be greasy?
It'd be sticky.
Sticky.
Welcome back to PixelHate, you slimy, greasy, sticky bastards.
There we go.
Welcome to the 10th episode. No. Fuck.
9?
Welcome to the
Number
9th.
9.
A little ahead of yourself there, bud.
Let's go, Mr. C.B.
Welcome back to PixelHate, you slimy, greasy, sticky bastards. This is the 9th episode of your favorite video game podcast. My name is Adam, and I'm joined here today by Jamal, Chris, Wope, and Micah, my
I feel like
nephew.
you're staring into our souls right now.
Right. Like,
Is anyone else feeling this, or is it just me?
No.
I
was going to comment on that.
I'm talking to the viewers.
Mighty close.
The
Adam.
listeners can't see me.
We can.
You're trying to seduce
Right.
our audience.
We have a fun episode today. Tail ended by some sad news, but we're just going to jump right into it. So to start things off, as usual, get going with good game, bad game.
Good game, bad game.
Good game of the week. I played Spider Heck. I played Spider Heck on Game Pass, and it's like a stickman. How do I put this? It's like one of those mobile games where like you just use your finger to move your whole character, and they pick up weapons and fight another person that's also using just their finger. It's like that on console. It's got to be like 99 cents. And me and Adam played it while we were super tired, and we just played this stupid ass Spider Heck game that it's like Smash but for idiots. It's so dumb, but it's really funny and fun. And I had a good time playing that, man. It was a lot of fun.
We played at like 4 a.m. We were so tired.
It was pretty late. But it was a last minute game, and I don't necessarily recommend it, but maybe we'll do a gameplay of it and post it. That'd be pretty funny.
We need to stream Mario Kart.
Again?
Jamal just wants to stream a game that he knows he's gonna win.
I changed my mind. My bad game was watching y'all stream.
You act like you're not good too. You act like you don't.
You're right. You're right.
My bad game was watching y'all stream Mario Kart and not turn the fucking volume down.
Listen, it was a rough night. Adam wasn't sure how to set up the stream. And I set it up, and then I didn't think about the volume thing. I was looking at the chat, but I didn't have the volume on, like the Twitch thing when I was looking at it. So just like, oh, okay. Until like halfway through, like Strikers.
It was a rough damn night.
It was a rough night.
We could have easily turned it down in Streamlabs, but not even thinking about it. So
no,
not at all. Maybe next time we'll get back into it.
Next time.
Good game.
I played Monster Hunter with Chris like some days ago, And it was fun. I tried to do some anomaly investigations to get some better gear and had some good time. We were rusty, but not as rusty as I thought we were going to be. We fought one of the most recent additions, well, a returning monster from Monster Hunter Iceborne, Volcana.
That shit was great.
Yeah, fun fight. I never actually fought it in Ice. I never actually fought it when it was originally on the console, so fighting it now, it's a great time. Bad game of the week. Well, we're going to talk about this at some point, so I'm going to save it because that's the only thing I can really think about.
All right, fellas. So my good game of the week is going to be Jack 2, the PS2 classic from back in the day. God, is that game still so magical, so good. One of the best and first open world games that I played. I'm playing the PS4 remaster of it, and boy, it's a great fucking time. And I'm just jumping in here and there, trying to get some trophies. I think I want to go for the platinum, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm definitely enjoying that. My bad game this week, Hogwarts Legacy. Overstaying its fucking welcome. I have 70%
Yes, sir.
of the game.
Fuck that game.
I have 70% of the game done. And I'm 43 hours in. I should be done. Fuck. Can I finish, please? Can I move on to something else? Can I go play Breath of the Wild like I want to?
How
No,
the fuck are you 70% already?
I want to get it done. How? Because I have 40 fucking 3 hours in it. That's how
I have 39 and I'm at like 27%.
Well, Chris is also beat.
My boy Aldo also has the same
Chris
issue.
is a completionist. Yeah.
Like that's what I need to.
My friend Aldo also has the
it's
same
taking
issue.
way too long. I'm like, bruh.
I've been scaling it out. Michael, what'd you say about your friend?
He said the same thing. He was like, bro, I like Harry Potter, but fuck that game. It is way too long. He was like, I cannot force myself to finish it. He's like, I have it installed, but I just don't want to go back to it.
No, that's my problem too. I want to free up some fucking space too. So I'm like, all right, it's time. It's like, can shit or get off the pot. Give me the climax, please.
I was there day one hating. Day one.
Mind you, he's not saying that the game is bad. It's just that it's long.
Yes.
And we're not talking Valhalla long. It's a lot of shit.
It's not Valhalla long, but like I said, it's definitely like I said, overstaying is welcome.
Chris, is there anything Valhalla level?
No game is as long as fucking Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Chris, I will suggest
that game took my life.
Assassin's Creed Villain Saga.
Chris, I will suggest once you are finally done with that game, if you want to play a game or a couple games that are long or feel long, but aren't really, but you also don't want to end, God of War Ragnarok. And
he needs to play Breath of the Wild.
And that too. And my good game of the week, Resident Evil 4 Remake. I finally beat it last night at about 1:30 in the morning. I haven't I never beat the original game. I only beat the remake.
What?
You what? The original game I played a lot of, but I got to I think I mentioned it on the show. I got to the part where there's like mine carts and you have to like kill guys that are jumping on your mine cart and stuff. And it was a bit of a mess in the original, but it wasn't bad. It was just like, all right, I think I've had my fill. But I had to beat this game. And boy, oh boy, am I glad I did. If you want to watch that playthrough, that is on our YouTube channel, PixelHate. We have a Pixel Play series, which is basically our Let's Play series. Right now, it's mostly just me playing either Wo Long with Micah or playing Resident Evil 4 Remake. And that game is absolutely unbelievable. The amount of stuff that they not only fixed and adjusted in the game. There are some things that they took out of the game, and some people are like, I kind of wish they put it in, but I'm glad like how it came out.
They took out the panty shots.
They took out Salazar's robot.
They took out the panty shots.
They took out incendiary grenades. They took
Ashley's
out
upskirt.
A couple of the things. Well, Ashley's underage, so it makes sense.
She's not underage.
Yeah, she is. She's like,
Relax, Master Roshi. Dang.
yeah,
No,
she's like,
she's the president. She's like 20.
no,
You can look it up.
no, I'm pretty sure
She's old in that game.
pretty sure she's
Remember,
like
Adam
17.
refuses to look things up. He didn't know what's his face's
Bro,
middle
she's
name.
not. She's not.
You didn't know Lillian's middle name, so I don't want to.
I've never played a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, so okay. So anyways, so yeah, that was my good game. My bad game is getting some sort of like eye infection. I don't know what it is, but my eye won't stop tearing up. Right now it's kind of dry, but for the past like 5 or 6 days, it's just been like as if I'm crying, but I'm not, and I'm not allergic to anything. And
should probably go to the doctor.
Gamer puss.
Just gonna ew.
What the fuck?
I'm just gonna keep on wiping it and keep washing my face, and hopefully it goes away. So that's my good game.
And when it turns
And if
into
it
a
doesn't,
tumor,
go to the fucking doctor.
If it doesn't, he
please.
needs to rub some dirt on it.
Nah, that Baltimore air finally starting to get to you.
Well, it's not pink eye though, because I don't like. I'm not. There's no pink in my eye or anything. I've been tearing up, and when I wiped it earlier with like a tissue, some gunk came out as if like had been sleeping for a long time or something. I don't know what it is.
Are you sure
It's just
nobody
like
farted
purple
in your
goop.
pillow?
Nobody farted on my
Did you
pillow.
say purple goop?
it's just purple goop coming out of every hole from Adam.
He's oozing.
That's what I do.
All of the
baby.
orifices.
That's what I do. All right, now
Oozes.
we'll pay. Good game, bad game.
All right, so for good game, I did download the game that I mentioned last week, Kart Rider, which is a free to play.
Same. I forgot
Yeah.
I played that. Chris,
It's a cute little free to play kart racer. I would recommend that you guys, get on it just for it's like one of those things you can just play like a 5-10 minutes, 15 max, and step away.
It's on mobile too.
Yeah, but I'm definitely not playing it there.
You said it's better than Hello Kitty?
Yes,
Hell yeah.
100%. It's not as good as Peppa Pig though. It's nice. It's fun. I can see myself maybe jumping back into it. My bad game is because of the Breath of the Wild preview that we got, I kind of got like an itch to play a game that was Breath of the Wild-esque, and I tried to jump back into Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Which say Genshin Impact.
No, I never played that game. I tried to jump back into it, and as much as I've enjoyed like the combat and the lore and the voice acting, the puzzles are starting to get a little grating to me. And Micah, at first, because you were the only person who brought this up, it is a very puzzle heavy game, and like to the point where it's not like it's almost not fun. Like I run into another puzzle, I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to look for another piece to put in this piece, and like I just want to fight. I just want to,
We'll see. Are the puzzles like unique? Like are they like simple and like repetitive, or is it like complicated
They
and
keep
repetitive?
it short. You know how like in Breath of the Wild, a lot of puzzles have a lot of diversity. Like you walk into a dungeon or the shrines, and the puzzle will have like motion controls, or it'll be like you got to put this amount of this object in the ceiling or something like that.
Mhm.
Immortals Phoenix Rising is like you walk up and there's like 6 squares on the ground, and then you're like playing Simon Says. Basically, it's fucking.
It sounds like Sonic Frontiers.
It's not like the shrines in Breath of the Wild are beautiful and super like interactive. Every time you walk into one, it's like walking into a different part of the game. And Immortals Phoenix Rising puzzles are just like out in the open. They're just sitting there. There's so many of them, and a lot of them are necessary.
They're like it's
boring.
like you can't go without it. And they do have like the shrine kind of thing to collect. I forget what you collect, but I think it's something that you can use to increase your stats. I think it's like a Zeus lightning bolt or something, and you can go to this hub and you can level up some aspect of your character, and it's cool. Like the progression stages are fun, but it's like I'm starting to get burnt out from the puzzles, and it's like I don't want to do this anymore. But the game is
the most
fun.
Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft as fuck,
Yeah.
and it's like a solid 7.5 out of 10. Like the
Give it a
game is not
6.
bad. The game is not bad, and I appreciate what it is. but I would take Breath of the Wild over it in a heartbeat. That's all I got.
Okay, cool. Now we're going to move on to side quests. Side quests. So this week's question was, what's your favorite video game cover art of all time? We got some good responses. So the first one was Dead Rising 1 and 3. For some reason, 2 wasn't included in the answer. Dead Rising 1, I can kind of picture in my head. 3, not so much. From what I can remember, those are some pretty good ones as well.
I can visualize all of them. Dead Rising 1 definitely has the best.
I remember this. Yeah. The guy holding the fucking what is this, a TV? He's holding a TV above his head. And
yeah, bro, that's what they use as weapons.
Yeah.
You use anything, right?
Shout out Frank West. GTA 5. That's the next answer.
There's better GTA cover
I
art.
think so as well. I think GTA
3 GTA 3 cover art is fire.
GTA 3 is dope.
Is that the one where like everything's kind of like
it's like
it's tinted, but like everything is in the color?
Yeah. GTA 5 like plays too much into the California like theme, I think, with the cover art. Like it tries to be too beachy a little bit.
GTA no, you're thinking Vice City probably. GTA 3 was like New York, I think, right? That was
he was talking he said
I'm talking about 5.
Oh.
GTA 3 is in by Liberty City, and that one's fire.
Yeah, GTA 3's cover art, I think, was the best out of that series. GTA San Andreas is really dope, too.
I love Chinatown Wars' cover art. It's so fucking crisp.
Fire.
It's so crisp.
Yeah, that one's clean, too. I forgot. Shit.
I don't know what that one looks like. Next response, Payday 2.
The clowns? Or the clown masks?
Yeah.
I like that
one of the best, but for the game, it's cool. I feel like that game could have had something cooler though. Like, there's a lot of crazy shit that happens in that game.
I
like the concept of Payday.
I've never played a Payday.
I'm looking at it right now because it's on Game Pass.
It's like Cops and Robbers, right?
No, this is a good cover.
Bro,
this one's
should
tough,
play
actually.
Payday. That shit is awesome.
There's a lot
Isn't
of games
Payday 3 coming out or something like that?
Yeah,
Isn't
eventually.
Payday basically the same as Battlefield Hardline?
No, not even close.
No.
It's like GTA Heist on steroids.
Yeah,
they're way better and way more multiplayer oriented.
Battlefield Hardline was dog shit, by the way.
Well, I'm talking about like the concept, not the execution.
No, it's not even close. Not even the same thing at all.
He said no. Fuck you, Jamal.
The Cops and Robbers.
They're not PvP games.
All right,
not PvP. It's not even like that at all.
Next response, Lego Star Wars. I agree.
Yes. Oh, wait, which one?
Lego Star Wars. I assume
the complete saga. Are we talking
Skywalker?
No, I
complete saga.
I assume the first game on PlayStation 2.
Yes,
they're all
the complete
really
saga.
No, PlayStation
like episode 1, like episode 1 to 3.
Yes. That one was fire, dude. Micah, you remember how much time we put into that game?
I spent so much time on that game. It was so great.
So good.
Pretty sure
I think it's at Chris's house.
No, that's not the complete saga. That's complete saga is 1 through 6.
Yeah, Lego Star Wars the video game. Yeah, I remember that.
I have 1 and 2.
I have one of them, but I don't remember where it's at.
Yes. I think I have fonder memories of that game than I do its cover art. The cover art's it's nostalgic for sure, but it's not the best Lego Star Wars cover art by far.
That's fair. I think it might be nostalgia glasses that are covering it up a little bit, but I remember it being it.
Because have you seen the Skywalker Saga cover art?
Beautiful.
So Micah basically saying, "F your favorite one.
Right,
it's
fuck
not
your
the
memories.
best.
Fuck whatever you feel about it."
If they mean just the first one, yeah, it's not that one. If we're being like fully real about it.
All right. So the next response is Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Let me just tell you right now.
The director's cut or the first one or the vanilla one?
It doesn't matter, bro. They're both fire.
Yes,
they are. He's probably meaning the vanilla. And that cover art so fire, I put it when I don't have a PS4, but when I was playing it, I put it as the PS4 homepage, and it's animated with the cover art.
Same, man.
Top 10 games of my life, bro. Seriously, beautiful.
It was so
Everything
good.
about that game was beautiful.
That might be the next game that I solo stream on the
Oh,
Twitch.
You're wilding for not having played it already.
I still haven't touched it.
Oh,
You're wild.
immediately
you're
go
crazy.
download it on the PS4.
It's already
immediately.
downloaded. It's already
Then
downloaded.
play
Crazy
it.
for that.
Okay.
Yes.
He was playing Resident
Play it
Evil.
now.
relax.
I
Stop
played
recording.
God of War Ragnarok. I played 2018
Cut
God of War
the
Ragnarok.
episode as
Stray.
well.
Let's be
then
real, clears that game by far.
Resident
No,
Evil
watching
4.
Jamal play that game, that shit is beautiful.
Yes. No, I know. I'm gonna play it. Okay. Every time I tell you guys that I have to play a game, you're like, "Well, you should have played already." Well, there's a ton of fucking games
Do
that
the
come
same
out.
shit.
Listen, it's
Should've
the
played
same
every
as
game that
it's the same
ever
as Chris
existed.
not playing Breath of the Wild with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chris, you're not allowed
Dilly dilly.
to say anything about anybody not playing games.
No, well, Michael, to your point, you said I do the same thing. No, I don't. I say if this or when you have a chance, you got to play this. I don't say no. Oh, what this game wipes all the games that you like. I don't care.
That's a new quote. This game wipes.
Game wipes. All right, next response. Everyone here is going to agree. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Very, very good cover art. It kind of it encapsulates the whole like vibe of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree.
I feel like I have to agree, yeah, because it's my favorite.
But it doesn't overdo it. You know what I mean? Like I think that the God of War games.
It's not the best Zelda cover art, though. I'm just being.
I could agree
It's not
with that.
the best, but it's a very good one.
It's a very good
It's
one.
not the
Twilight
best
Princess is really
Zelda
good.
cover art.
It's
There's
just-
Skyward
Yes,
Sword,
Twilight
Skyward
Princess
Sword
is
cover art.
tough.
No, I don't like Skyward Sword.
Phantom Hourglass.
Yes.
Skyward
I don't
Sword's
remember that
cover art's good.
Wind Waker?
The game itself isn't amazing, but the cover art.
Wind Waker's a classic.
Yeah, but that's
Wind Waker's
out of
good.
that's out of the question. And then Link's
I don't remember
Awakening.
Majora's
Beautiful.
Mask.
all
Well,
of Legend of Zelda. is
Yeah,
good.
majority.
Yeah, whoever designs those, I don't think they've really missed, to be honest.
There are games
Probably a
that
different person every time.
there are definitely games that encapsulate the entire like theme of the game, and pretty much all of those covers do just that.
For sure.
All right, so the last response that we got, which is from our very own Jamal. Got your whole
Wait,
government. Whole
Give
government.
my whole government, dog.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, I knew somebody was gonna say this, and if it wasn't gonna be y'all, it was gonna be me. That cover is fucking gorgeous.
Dog, I was staring at that cover as a kid like several times, like, yo, this cover is so clean.
Yeah.
Before I played that game as a kid, I always thought that cover was so cool. I was
It's
like,
fire.
Disney characters on the
So
front looking like
perfect.
this with a drip on.
Like if
With
I had
the
never,
drip.
if I knew nothing about that game, I would buy it just off the cover alone.
Right. I'm like,
For
yo.
sure. It's so dramatic.
That's how I got
for
into
no
It's
reason, too.
dramatic as fuck. Yes.
For no,
That's how
And
I
the
got
thing
into
is,
gaming.
I mean,
Kingdom
they
Hearts
have a
3
reason, but
Kingdom Hearts 3 has the same type of cover, but there's like too many people on it, and it's just like,
yeah,
it doesn't have like the same feel.
it's not as
2,
minimalist too.
Yes.
like-
yeah, 2 is like, and
There's a
like,
thing
Kingdom Hearts 1
about-
is good.
There's a thing about minimalist covers that I hope no one suggested this, but Skyrim's front cover,
I
it
knew you were
does
gonna say
justice to that game, bro. It doesn't need to have like a crazy open world in the background. It's just the symbol
It looks like a
Mhm.
book.
of the dragon, and you're like, I need to play this game, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's covers like that just work.
An honorable mention I will say I just thought about when you said Skyrim is
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
Dragon
That's
Age
a
is
clean,
really good.
That
This
is a
one's
clean
really
cover
good.
art.
I know no one suggested this,
No
bro,
one
but
said
Dark Souls 3
Tenkaichi
cover
2?
art. Dark
I was
Souls 3
thinking
cover
about
art
that.
when he has the sword. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Dark Souls
It's like a
Yes.
3
yellowish
cover
one.
art, but when he has the sword in the bonfire and he's bowing down at it.
That's really good.
I'd have to look at it,
I
but
forgot
that
what it
sounds
was
And if
like.
familiar.
you
One more honorable
for it?
mention: Red
Yeah.
Dead Redemption 2
That's a good one.
with Arthur's face on it,
with
And, like,
Arthur's
the
face and
silhouettes and
the
the shadows, yeah.
silhouettes and the yes, all of that.
I like
The
it.
gun
That one-
pointed. I love that joint. I love it.
I think that one captures like the Western movie feel like
Yeah.
really well.
I have two ones that I wanted to mention. One is Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah,
with the
That
Colossus in the background.
That is a good cover
that
art.
one's beautiful.
Because it's the first Colossus, and that's like the perfect introduction to what that game is, and it's just in the background. And then another one is, I guess we can just do the whole series, but the Ultimate Alliance games all had really good cover art.
The one I remember the most is 3. I don't
2 was
remember
way
2.
better though.
Yeah,
I don't remember 2, but I know it was better. I just remember 3 because that was the last one I played, but I did like 2's cover art.
You know what game is hard as fuck to find, and it's super off topic, but it also has a beautiful cover art. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Mm-hmm.
That shit.
Yo, I have that game.
Do you really? Do you
And
have
its
it like?
cover.
No.
I have it on Xbox. Yeah.
What's y'all opinion on Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness? The one with like the Shadow Lugia on the cover.
I don't like
Hell
it.
yeah. I love it.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I
thought Coliseum had a better cover.
I remember that exactly too.
Yeah, I remember it vividly, but I don't love it.
Okay.
All right. That was side quests. I have a question for everyone. If there was one game that you could have remade and it come out tomorrow, what would it be? And
SSX Tricky.
Additional question, what's one feature that you'd add to it to make it even better?
Let me just run this up. SSX Tricky, a remake, but if it plays more like SSX 3, that to me is the perfect game. And I know I already talked about this before, but SSX Tricky has the most personality. It's the most colorful, it has the best voice acting, and has the best attitude. I think and people will argue this, it's the best snowboarding game of all time. They'll either say Tricky or they'll say 3, but either way, it's in the series. You remake Tricky with all of the original characters, maybe add some later characters, bring back that all-star voice cast, Lucy Liu. Damn, I can't think of anybody else, but it was. I don't know. It would be amazing.
So the number one game that I want remade, probably. So here's an honorable mention. I know we're not all going to do honorable mentions. If you guys have one, then that's good enough. But just after playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, I hope that in due time they do get the Resident Evil 5. Because that game wasn't amazing. It was solid, but there are parts that they could definitely redo. Hence, Chris Redfield punching a boulder inside of a volcano. But that's very much recency bias. Now, with my all-time, I probably would go Final Fantasy IX. That game, oh my God. Every time I get reminded of the story and just the art style, and again,
such a great game.
Growing up, I never wanted to play it because it was different from Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII introduced me to Final Fantasy. And then the next game I played was
it's so different.
It's so different. But like it was a callback to the old games, and that's why a lot of people loved it. And then when I finally went back and played it, I played through it twice. Played through it on PlayStation 2 during quarantine because I bought the game, and then I played through it again later in quarantine, or maybe like towards the tail end of it on Xbox when they had the remaster out. And if they remade that game, that would be the greatest Final Fantasy game of all time, easily. Oh my God, it's so fucking good. I love it.
Question, would you want them to remake it the same way they remade 7 and like change the battle system to more of a action adventure? Oh, okay.
But I don't want them to drag it out the way that 7 is being dragged out. I want it to be like updated
like
graphics. I want it to be, if it's going to be in parts, I want it in 2 halves. I don't want it in goddamn 8 parts like they're doing 7. And will this ever happen? Probably not. They're probably going to do like another remaster for 9. But if it were able to be remade, I want it to be remade with passion. I want it to be remade. Don't remake the fucking story. Just remake the game. Updated mechanics, updated gameplay, updated combat, updated graphics, obviously, and just leave it to what it is. It can be what it is, just for a more modern audience, and that's okay. But that's probably mine.
I have the same things to say, but the original God of War trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, and if you want to add Ascension and the other one in there as well, I think that if they remade Chains of those. If you remade all of those and you just put them out and like gave us the updated graphics, gave us the same mechanics that are in God of War 3 for the most part already, and the new God of War, God, it'd be over. It'd be fucking over. Like that game would sell gangbusters, and I would play lots and lots of hours of God of War, more than I already have.
Easy.
So the game I will want remade the most is Assassin's Creed 1. Now,
Good choice. Good choice.
A feature, I'm not 100% sure. I would like to do without overdoing it, like how it probably is, like add some kind of like RPG element, but only add it to like weapons or like ways that you can actually assassinate people. Like I don't need like whole new skills like outside of Altair's like moveset. Just keep it like simple to like actually what the game is.
Aren't they doing that, Jamal?
No.
They're not
Wait.
remaking one.
Hold on. I
think they
remember
are
Micah
remaking them.
saying Micah said this months ago.
No, they might have it in the works like for a long time from now, but all that stuff was basically just amounted to Mirage and the whatever the Japanese one is. Yeah.
If they were to remake Assassin's Creed 1, would you want them to add the loot system, or would you want them to keep that as far away as possible?
Keep it far away. I don't need to know.
Thank you.
F the loot system. Honorable mentions. We'll pick on like this one. My first one is Wave Race. I forgot like the full name of it.
Blue Storm for the GameCube.
Yes. Fantastic game. Remake that, add a multiplayer, you're set. Another one I will want is Sonic Riders. I love that game. The first one, Sonic Riders, is so great.
I love Sonic Riders, bro. I thought I was the only person in the fucking universe.
I didn't care for Zero Gravity, but the first one is fire, man. I didn't care for the Zero Gravity segment. It's good, but I didn't care for the Zero Gravity part. So that's why I'm saying the first one.
It's hard. Like, that game is very hard to pick up and play, like control-wise. It's so weird and unorthodox. But I felt like it was overhated. It holds a
special place.
Me and my nephew played the shit out of that game.
That came out at a time when bad games weren't bad games. Like, they weren't critically bad games. They were just, you might have thought that, but it wasn't posted all over online. Mm-hmm. So I didn't care.
Yeah, same. I love that.
I didn't give a fuck, bro. I played the shit out of it. So I think honorable mention, I would say one game I really want to see remade, but I don't think it'll ever happen, is State of Decay 1. It's just a zombie survival game, but it came out right around when the original Xbox was launching, but it also came out on the 360. And they're like it's like Animal Crossing, but for zombies. And your survivors have permadeath, and you just like take care of a community. And the story's really good in the first game, and it's also a super involving game because I think the first one it does track real time, whereas the second one it doesn't. So like days actually pass when you don't play. So that it definitely has like a big effect, and I just love that game. But it looks like shit, and it plays like a 12-year-old game.
Yeah.
So that's my honorable mention. But a game that I've wanted a modern version of this game since I was a kid, bro. NBA Street 2.
Yes.
If they ever remake those games, bro, it would change my life. I spent so much time on NBA Street as a kid. I don't understand how they haven't like even considered it, because those games, they captured what sports games just never did for me. Like playing Madden, like all the sports sim games are complete bullshit. They're not real simulators. They're just number calculators. NBA Street doesn't try to sim, bro. It just lets have fun. And they make up characters, and you can also play as like, I think you could play as like Snoop Dogg and shit like that too. I can't remember. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up with 2K, but yeah, if you guys remember NBA Street 2, legendary game. Legendary game.
EA Sports Big has, and I hate that they're no longer like an entity in and of itself, but what they were able to come up with, like you said, NBA Street, NFL Street, the SSX series, Like, bro, Mario, Luigi, and Peach were guest characters on the GameCube versions of V3 and
Yeah.
SSX on Tour.
That was electric, by the
We'll
way.
never see some shit like that again.
Yeah, it was an era of gaming where games were just meant to be fun and they weren't meant to exploit your time and your
And they were
money.
complete on launch.
They were complete,
Yep.
but there was also passion behind a lot of, like, almost every game was a fucking risk back then. Developers weren't just shitting shit out because it was profitable to put shit out. It was a risk to make a video game back then, so you had to make it good. Now I'm playing Spider-Heck, bro. Like, there doesn't have to be a lot of effort put into games anymore.
Wow.
Well, that was the time of
That's a bad example because
yeah, but also like the games that
What'd
would
you
come
say?
out, the games that would come out on GameCube during that time, like a lot of developers experimented because like GameCube was an experimental console. If we're thinking Metroid Prime, if we're thinking uh, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, if we're thinking Resident Evil 4, like all those games came out on GameCube at launch, right? And they were completely different steps away from the games that we've gotten in those series prior. And like just like you said, every game was experimental, but they did it because like they wanted to see what would work. They wanted to see what the fans would enjoy, not just because fans would pour money into their fucking cash cow video games. Where now we have Halo Infinites, we have Call of Duty Advanced Extreme fucking Call of Warfare bullshit, like whatever the fuck it is, just all kinds of shit. And yeah, you might be able to say like, you know, Capcom is milking Resident Evil, but they're putting passion into the remakes. They're changing enough shit. Final Fantasy is constantly evolving with each iteration. Still with 16, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. There are tons of other games where, yeah, we can talk about indie developers now. Where back then, indie developers were the guys that were on Newgrounds.com. They were on fucking eBomb's World putting fucking animations out. Like they weren't even developing video games back then. Now everyone's fucking making video games. We have Game Pass. We have fucking games that are being sponsored on the PSN. Not as much with Nintendo nowadays, but you know, now it's become so much of a business now that we don't see the experimentation as much as we did with the AAA publishers back then, and that's a real shame.
yeah, the market is just so oversaturated that like you don't even get the chance as a developer to do something you want because it's more profitable just to do what everyone already likes. Most people aren't going to go click on that super specific indie game. They're going to go find the next battle royale that, you know, is going to just hit that dopamine that they need, you know.
Yeah.
It's a different time now.
Hey, there's a reason that we haven't seen a good Mario sports game in God knows how many fucking years, like 8 years.
It's a
We've
shame.
seen Mario Golf, which was dog shit. I mean, it wasn't dog shit, but like in terms of what was provided at launch, was such bare bone shit. And then Strikers, we don't even need to fucking discuss that. But
Ever
back then,
again.
we had Mario Baseball, we had Mario Tennis, we had Mario versus Sonic at the Olympics. Like we had shit like that was coming out. Now that the third game, the latter game was a little bit later, but still they were kind of on that ride of like, all right, we can put Mario on a sports game, but actually have fun with it and put our fucking our actual livelihood into it, and people are gonna like it because it's actually different from all the other shit, and there's more things that are in the game. It's complete at launch, but we don't get that. First person versus third person perspective. Is there a game that you'd want the perspective to be different? Meaning a first person shooter that you think would work better as a third person, or a third person adventure game, or even a shooter that would work better in the first person perspective. I'll start this. So this is more recent, actually very recent. I think that Atomic Heart would have done a lot better as a third person shooter. The first person mechanics can work sometimes in that game. Now, granted, I haven't finished the game, but from what I've played, it relies heavily on melee combat. And there are some times where, yes, the gun mechanics work, but it's not as enjoyable as you'd like. You'd also like some of the things that happen, whether it's enemies or even the vending machine that's super sexual and like wants to bang you all the time. you'd want to see that interaction happening in third person. You'd want to see the interaction because you barely see your person. Again, from what I've seen, you barely see the person that you're playing ever. You see him early in the game after the introduction. You see him waking up, but from what I've seen, you don't see him past that point.
I've played it more. You do see him. You see him a few times.
But still, you don't grow attached to that character because you don't see what he looks like. The way that they want you to become attached to that character. They want you to become attached to the world as well, and that could be just as successfully achieved in the third person perspective. I personally think that as much as a BioShock feel as they were going for, it doesn't really work. And I think they could have been a little bit more experimental with going in the third person, or at least having an option. Maybe it'll come out later, but that's my take for this discussion.
I have two. So, first person game I think it would do better in third person is Cyberpunk. I think it would do a lot better with that.
Yep.
100%.
Third person game that I think will do better in first person is The Division. Because I think because what The Division is, I think I can't take it seriously enough because of what it is. At first, when I played Division 1, yeah, I did, but then it got all repetitive and it's not as fun. I think the fun factor would be more engaging if it was in first person.
I don't know. I liked that it was third person when I played Division 1 and Division 2. Like I think at the time, because there was so many FPS games, I enjoyed it more because it came out right when like the market was super oversaturated with like Overwatch, Call of Duty, a new Halo. There was like Apex coming out at the time. Like every game was FPS.
Would you say that now, though? I mean, back then, yeah, but what about now?
If they made another, or if it like that kind of game dropped now, I'd probably be more into it if it was first person. But I liked it for the time, like the first Division when it dropped.
Right. Okay.
I am going to say Cyberpunk because for some of the same reasons that you were saying, Adam, I would find myself like literally riding around on the motorcycle all the time just so I could see my character and see their outfit and see what the fuck they look like, because I would forget like, oh yeah, I'm a female V. Oh yeah, I have a fly ass outfit on. Oh yeah, I should probably be interested in what my character fucking looks like sometimes. Got especially in a world like Cyberpunk. So that was quite upsetting that was an oversight. But that's it.
So Adam, like you said, I feel like games that deal specifically with melee combat are always better in third person, like something like a Dishonored. I feel like Dishonored would be far better if it was fully third person, right? As far as a third person game, like I would love to see like a first person Fortnite, like a no build, but I mean, they could probably do it. It's probably already in the mix. My thing is, I feel like a lot of games could benefit from just having both. Like, you know how Grand Theft Auto 5, you can there was an update that allowed you to play in first person, or I think it's the ones that came out on PS4 and Xbox One allowed you to play in first person and in third person. And being able to switch between something like that, it almost feels like a completely different game. And it just gives you the opportunity to more immerse yourself in the world in certain spots, and the fact that you can just switch between whenever you like is, I feel like that's imperative to that gaming experience. But again, not everybody has Rockstar money, so not everybody can do that. I'm trying to think of anything else that would work. This is kind of actually no, yeah. That's pretty much it for me. I feel like Dishonored should be completely third person. And maybe like a Mirror's Edge too. But Adam, you've played that. So
I thought about that, but I think Mirror's Edge works very well being first person.
The first game does. The second game, I think I would have liked more in third person.
I actually had this thought. Not that
Outer
long ago.
Worlds. Sorry.
What'd you say?
Outer Worlds and like Fallout. I wish those were third-person games. I'd be able to get into them more.
You can play Fallout in third person though.
Can you?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
all of them.
I didn't
Yeah, there's just it's like a click toggle. Um, I actually had this thought while I was playing the D4 beta. I was like, this game is fucking beautiful. I wish I could zoom in. And I was like, I don't want Diablo specifically to be first person because it would be so, first of all, it's a PC first game. So it'd be so against the core of what that game is. But I desperately want like a party, like what's it called? Dungeons and Dragons based first person shooter. Like you go through with
ESO.
like 3 of your other buddies and you all have classes and it's in first person. So like I'm a barbarian, I'm in first person, my friend's a sorceress, he has a staff in first person. Like that sounds really cool. I want something like that. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but just maybe not too mainstream and I don't know about it. Maybe the Warhammer games, maybe. But yeah, something like that. And then for a first person game being third person, I have wanted since I was little for a Halo person game, bro. Not even just like a cover based, but just a third person mode. Like when I was playing Halo Infinite, this campaign, I was so desperately just wanting to see Master Chief zip around on the fucking grappling hook in third person, bro. Every time you could go in third person, I was loving it. With the I forget what they called the minigun, but the rocket launchers, the miniguns, the warthogs, all that stuff you can see him. But outside of that, just like Cyberpunk, you can't. And I feel like it's such a disservice to your game to have such a beautiful world, such a beautiful player model, and then not give the player the chance to look at it, man. Or even a photo mode. Like, I don't know. So yeah, Halo would be really cool. And then a Diablo like in third or in first person would be phenomenal, I think.
I
Also
think
think
photo
Think the
modes would allow you to
Borderlands, that
forgive.
Borderlands one that was like you know that what is it called? Tina's Wonderland, that Borderlands game that is like
Yeah.
they use magic and shit. Think of
Yes.
something like that, but way more fantasy themed. Like no guns at all, just straight swords and magic. Like I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
One game, I guess, because everyone kind of gave either a first person or they gave both a first person and a third person. One game that I actually think I would have liked more if it was first person. Why am I blanking?
Sunset Overdrive.
No.
Gears.
No.
I always wanted to play the first person Gears, but it's too much cover. How would you do it?
What is happening right now? I literally had it in my head.
Skate,
Think.
Shadow of Mordor,
With fucking
Titanfall.
with Shepard.
Oh, Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. Why the fuck couldn't I think about it? Anyways, I kind of wish that at least the first Mass Effect was first person. Now, at that time, if it was released, it kind of would have just been like probably a Halo clone or Halo killer or something like that. But if they didn't try to go that route and they kept the same dialogue trees, the same RPG mechanics, that might have been like the first, one of the first iterations of like a common like loot shooter type of game. But at that time, it would have been groundbreaking, not as convoluted as they are nowadays. But
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Mass Effect 1, first person
Don't draw
shooter.
attention to it.
It's already done.
All right,
It's
boys.
already done.
It's time to get to the last topic of the show. We're
All right.
running up on our time.
Our swan song.
We are going to talk about the death of E3.
Oh man.
Hold on. Can I lead into it?
Sure.
After pullout after pullout after pullout, the Electronic Entertainment Expo has been canceled. This is like monumental. Like this was going to be the first like I'm sure they had so much good shit lined up. It was going to be the first in-person E3 since 2019, right?
Yes.
Like this is sad. This is really disappointing. And I'm just wondering, like, how do you guys feel about this just in general and what it means for the future of gaming conferences? Because this was the one, this was the Apex, this was the Super Bowl of game announcements, or whatever you want to call it. Michael, you look like you about to say some bullshit. Go ahead.
I gotta be honest, bro. I don't care. Because
Okay.
here's the
Well,
thing.
point
Shut up.
made.
All right, well,
Let me
cool.
fucking make a point if you're gonna call me out. Uh,
At a
they're
Your
gonna
funeral,
face said it
every
all.
fucking game,
hey,
every
at a
major
funeral
fucking
and ready to just be
publisher and game company, every single major game company now has their own E3 every month or every week. They do directs. They have a Ubisoft publisher announcement. They have a Sony publisher announcement. They have Nintendo directs. They have Xbox directs. They probably have PC directs at this point. Do we really give a fuck?
Yes.
You guys weren't
Yes.
going to go fly out there and go, ooh, at BlizzCon. No, you're fucking sitting in your house watching the YouTube reactions and trailers. You're going to do it regardless. Unless you're one of the people that was actually going out there to E3 to test the games, to fucking watch the live announcements, I don't see why you would be sitting here like, man, this is the end. Like, this is it. Bro, they still do E3. It's just spread out now. It's just
Okay,
set
but-
between
No, because
8 different
Hey,
listen,
Micah,
I don't care
maybe
for the
if we got
in-person
big
thing.
enough-
All right, one at a time. One at a time.
Maybe if we
Chris.
got big enough, we could all fly out and go fucking see it and have a live reaction coverage of that bitch. But no, it's gone. It's dead. It's deceased.
Listen,
God.
it's not about the in-person thing.
stinks.
Like, whether it's in person or not, I don't care. Like, the fact that E3 is like canceled, like there's no schedule where game companies are all trying to like show off big news around the same time. Now it's just all scattered out, which kind of like desaturates. I like when it's like, all right, I can look forward to like a big game announced, like all right, what are games coming out this year's, like what are consoles going to be coming out this year. I like seeing all. It was nice to see all that during a Pacific time period, but now
It's a
we
competition.
won't get that. Yeah, we're not going to get
Like,
that
who
anymore.
wins
though.
E3?
Right. Right. But then, okay, so Michael, let me ask you this. Do you think that E3 dying, and yes, I want to commend Jeff Keighley for trying to keep up with the Summer Games event and stuff like that, where there are still going to be some conferences, but it's not E3. It's not E3. So what I mean by that is, do you think that E3 dying, where there's like a 3 or 4 day just event where people can go and they have had lifelong dreams of visiting this conference that's been going on for 20 plus years, that they've been watching since we were kids, just like we were, and at some point wanted to fly out to LA, go to E3, just like how there's a Comic-Con. What if Comic-Con died? What if Marvel and then DC and all these other comic book companies had their own little things, right? That would divulge the community of comic book readers. The way that E3 is dying makes us sad, makes us upset, because there's no central conference that all of these huge developers, all these huge publishers can come together and be like, all right, we're all part of the same community. Now, everything's so divided, even more so than when we were coming up, where it was like, oh, you like Nintendo? Fucking die, but also I'll see you at E3. Now there's nothing like that. Now, yeah, we can all watch it from home, but there are people that are only going to go to fucking PlayStation conferences. And sure, at that time, if they're going to E3, they're like, I'm only going to go to the PlayStation video. I'm going to only go to the publishers for PlayStation, for Sony, and then I'm going to go do something else. But I'm not going to Xbox. I'm not going to Microsoft. I'm not going to Nintendo. Now they don't even have that option. Now, for some people, yeah, sure, congratulations, you win. But do you really think that this is beneficial for the gaming community as a whole?
No,
No, I don't think it's beneficial. But I would say I felt the way you feel, I guess, like in 2020 when they stopped doing it immediately. I've grieved, bro. I'm over it. E3 has been dead since COVID started. Like, it's not news that E3 is dead. Like, E3 has been a joke since 2019. And not once have I been excited for a game, like a big gaming event announcement thing, since then, since whenever the last big one was.
But-
So Yes, I agree. Yeah, if Comic-Con came out and was like, we're not doing it anymore because Marvel and DC and all these other brands are starting to do their own thing, yeah, that's pretty fucked. That's what ruins a market, low key. But at the same time, like, dude, I don't know what people were expecting. I don't know what anyone was expecting. Nintendo wasn't going to show shit at E3. Xbox isn't going to show shit at E3. PS4 wasn't going to show shit at E3. And then we were like, well, Assassin's Creed might still and then they pull out and you're like, well, shit, now E3's, well, fuck, man. E3's gone. Like, bro, it was gone. It's been gone. It's been gone for fucking 4 years. I'm not gonna sit here and like mope and cry about it because I'm still getting the announcements this year. I'm still getting all the game announcements. Right, it'll just be a few months spread out. And you know what? Yes, I won't have 1 week of being excited. I won't have 1 day of being excited. I will be excited all year because all year long I'm gonna be getting cool game announcements from several different companies that I enjoy. So yeah, I think it's better for the market of the game companies themselves, just them. Like, they benefit because they don't have competition. So they don't have to come through E3 with like 1 banger. They can drop 5 bangers in their own direct. And now we get that all year long. I don't see how it's that big of a problem.
I think you're missing the moment.
Is it desirable?
Let me have my moment for a second. Let me speak to the young lad.
Yeah. Let this Zoomer know.
Let him teach real quick.
Don't act like I'm not speaking.
Micah, you were not there for the good old days.
Tell him, can you always like to talk?
I've always
We weren't there. We didn't put in the hours.
Listen.
Oh, God.
In 2008, in the good old motherfucking days, when E3 was the only goddamn place for us to have the Super Bowl of video games, for us to have the culmination of everybody in one goddamn roof, and everybody in the goddamn nation watching. Like, we all had to go there. Obviously, it is not like that anymore. Obviously, we don't have to go there at that specific time to see that specific thing. But that the excitement of it all, it was a whole fucking thing. It was a fucking thing, and I was just fucking gone.
Chris, you're missing my point. Agreed. I was there when Final Fantasy VII got announced, and I watched the reactions on YouTube. I was hype. I was the kid that was hype. Here's what you're not getting from my point. We are so far past those times. You're making a point as if like we're still living in fucking Stone Age, bro. We live in a time where that shit is readily you can get all the trailers the minute they drop. You think I was sitting on every direct waiting for the Smash character announcement? I wasn't. They announced it on Twitter. I was watching it on Twitter. I don't think it's necessary anymore. And definitely in this post-COVID era, every business is moving different. If you didn't expect these game companies to move different, you're fucking tripping. I'm sorry. Things adapt with time. We have to adapt to the new ages. These companies want their own E3. Give it to them. Let them do it. They don't want to be part of E3. But if your ass wants to go watch Indie Developer Direct, go ahead.
Even prior to COVID. Now, yes, COVID is an unfortunate circumstance for literally the entire human race. Right? Just like you said, businesses have been moving differently, game companies have been moving differently. But even before COVID, these fucking Xbox, PlayStation, or more specifically, I guess, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, the big three, they started branching away from E3 prior to COVID. Why do we think that is? Because they wanted to isolate their own market. Now, is that good business practice? Sure, I guess if you want to make sure that you are getting your market specifically attached to your products, to your presentations. But why can't we have that, but then also have this big event during the summer when most people have a little bit more free time, whether they're completely off from work or they have a few more breaks in there because they're taking vacations and stuff, right? If we have this big culmination of all these people that are all meeting together, why can't we bring that back after COVID? I think that E3 should still be a thing.
I don't necessarily think E3 shouldn't be a thing, but am I going to be sad that it's gone? Not really. Because the answer to your question, Adam, why do they do it? Why can't we have it? It's the same answer we had for why developers now make the games they do now. It's just not profitable. It's not profitable to put my fucking Halo Infinite against God of War 3. It isn't profitable. It's better for me to do my own live stream, promote my games to my catered audience, and let them get hype in their little ecosphere. It's not profitable for them. And so, yes, I don't think it's desirable. I don't think I want no E3, but I'm not sad it's gone, because it's not like they're like, well, now we're not gonna announce games. No, they're still announcing games, and they're probably still going to announce them during the summer, but they're just not going to be all in one sitting, and you're not going to have a crowd of people right there freaking out, which, yes, that part will be missed. I'll always miss that. And I think Nintendo still does like their own smaller interaction with the crowd when they do their directs.
They
So
do it at
that you can
the
still
New York
have
thing.
that. You can still have that stuff, but it's just not gonna be E3. And I think I don't think this year's E3 was going to be good anyways. So I think E3's been a joke for so many years now. It was bound to happen, and I don't think it will be missed by me. And I'm not complaining that it's gone.
My biggest takeaway from this is that, I mean, and I'm sure I'm speaking for pretty much everyone else here, is that I'm just sad to see it go. Now, I think that there's room to evolve, sure. But it's just sad to see it go, because it feels like, in a sense, that this is the culmination of the lack of fun competition within the industry. It's become so like volatile and just like so malevolent with the competition, where these people that sit in these boardrooms at the top of these companies, all they want to do is make more money, and in doing so, in spite of these other companies, instead of everyone wanting to be like, oh man, Xbox got us on this, let's try to adapt, and like, good on them, but let's try to adapt. Now it's like,
It's a culture thing that we're losing.
yeah, it's part of the culture as well, where like, we don't have, at this point, we don't have the Comic-Con. Now we have the Game Awards, and we have the Summer Game Fest that Jeff Keighley's trying to get going and whatnot, and all these other companies, like, they all have their individual showcases, but now it's not all centralized around the one time of the year where it's like, oh my God, I'm going to see the top games coming out for Xbox, top games coming out for PlayStation, top games coming out for Nintendo, all in one place. Now it's like, oh, let me wait for the 7th fucking Nintendo Direct this year to see what kind of update they have for Pokemon Shield and Sword after fucking 4 years of it coming out. Like, okay, that's great. Can't wait. Like,
I agree.
And competition breeds
I just
sales
think
too.
you guys are looking with rose-colored glasses at the idea of E3, because E3 hasn't been good for a long time. Like, even when E3 was still happening in person and they were doing the announcements, they weren't great the past few years.
Yeah,
it hasn't been since like 2015.
Correct.
It hasn't been since like 2015 since we got a good one.
This is the culmination of that. And it's sad to finally see that come to fruition. That's the hard part of accepting it. We all knew that E3 was a joke coming in, like, into this year before, a few years ago. We all knew that. And then when it happened during COVID, it was like, oh man, okay, maybe they'll bounce back. Now, I don't know if E3's. None of us know if E3's coming back after this.
It
I
probably
highly doubt
won't.
it, bro.
Like,
I
why?
highly doubt
How
it.
can you?
Exactly. So,
Like, what can you provide that these companies just can't do in their own individual like streams?
yeah, I don't know, but hey, I've said what I needed to say. You guys can have any closing remarks, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Like I said, like, the in-person thing for like E3, I can go without. It's just like, without like a specific like time frame. Doesn't even have to be within 4 days. It could be like a month, right? But there's no guarantee that can happen. Like, maybe there'll be like, PlayStation will like have like their state of play in June. Maybe Xbox will have something like, in July or something, but it's not going to be all like in a centralized time, and it's not as exciting. Yeah, like I'll get like a tweet, be like, oh, hey, like, we have something else coming up. But I was like, all right, well, what games are going to come out? Unless I already know a game that I want is coming out. then I'll be excited for that, that live stream. Other than that, it's just not as exciting.
I just feel like we've lost so much of like the couch gaming culture, just in terms of like, and bear with me, right? We've lost so much of like split screen gaming and a lot of the in-house like fun that Nintendo still tries to provide, but a lot of other companies have kind of just gone away from. I literally remember like calling Chris and being like, hey, like E3's coming up, I'm about to go to your house. We're gonna watch, like we're gonna sit and watch the conference. We're gonna sit and be excited together. And it's like, it's just not the same when it's like, oh, well, this Nintendo Direct is happening at 10 a.m. So, watch it whenever you get the chance. And obviously, I mean, we're old, we have jobs, we have shit to do. But at the same time, it's like a whole generation is now going to grow up without that. Now, sure, there are going to be people who think like Mike and say, well, fuck this. If I don't have to wait till June to get my announcements, why should I? If I can be excited all month, why do I have to wait till this one conference? But like again, the competition factor, it was people brought their best shit to E3 because this was your one moment to blow everyone away. All eyes were on it at the same time, whether you are a Nintendo fan or not. Everybody was going to be there to see what Nintendo had, what Sony had to offer, what Microsoft had to offer. That's lost now. So now, like you said, it's going to be echo chambers of people sucking the dick of whatever company they're watching. We're not going to have that competition shit anymore. And that was so important. Like, and yeah, console loyalty is dead, as in and of itself. Like we all have multiple systems, but I don't know, man. It's just a feeling. It was something to look forward to. And now everything is just, hey, whenever we get the chance, whenever we feel like showing you what we have, we'll show you.
The further the gaming industry goes, we're going to lose that couch co-op idea. And this is just companies adapting to the new times, bro. People want to hop on a stream and watch the chat freak out rather than a crowd. That's the age that we live in. They want to watch the PS4 Direct and see everyone freak out about the next Ghost of Tsushima or next Death Stranding and see the chat light up with emojis and all that. Like, that's the hype now. That's the age that we live in. And it might be hard to accept that because we are getting older and we just remember the times of like it being different. But I think this is the companies adapting with the times. I think it's them catering to their markets. And if the new kids just don't ever remember E3, it is what it is, man. Like, we'll still get the great games. That's all I care about.
That's true.
All fair points, gentlemen. All fair points. If you guys are listening or watching or both, and you guys disagree or agree or have some additional statements to make that we did not touch on, feel free to make those in the comments. We also have a Discord. You can find that in the link tree. We are everywhere. That is all in the link tree. We're on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the above. Make sure you guys check out Micah's content, Mikey OQ on YouTube. He's also on Twitch as well, and Twitter and Instagram.
I just hit 1 million views on YouTube, by the way.
Big baller.
Yes, applause all
Real
around.
shit, man.
Applause all around. Well done.
Love to see that.
We're very appreciative of all the viewership, the listenership, all the support. We're nowhere near where we intend to be by the end of the year, and when we're done with this project, who knows when we will be, but it is ongoing. We just want to provide as much humor and genuine discussion and discourse on video games as we can, because we know the market is saturated, but if at any point you guys tune in, we do greatly appreciate it. So make sure you check out all the links in the link tree. Check out all of Micah's stuff. He's in our featured channels on our YouTube. So again, thank you. But we got to close out the show. We got to get off the game. We got to log off because our parents are yelling at us. We love you. Thank you. And goodbye.
See ya.
Deuces.
Mom, I can't pause the game. It's online.
No, I've used that line so many times.